Hello, my name is Renae Leith-Manos. Welcome to this hotel review. I've been a global luxury hotel reviewer for over 2 decades. My passion for the five-star hotel industry stems from its dynamic nature, much like the world of theatre, with its blend of front-of-house elegance and behind-the-scenes precision. For most of our reviews, we're invited for a 3-night stay, but importantly, hotels or their public relations teams have no input in shaping our reviews. And like you, only see a review once it's published. We highly value your feedback on our reviews and encourage you to share your thoughts below the review. There are cities that impress you, and then there are cities that restore you. Budapest is one of those rare places where history, beauty, and wellness collide. It's a city that I really, really enjoy. It's a city built not just on architecture, but on water, but it's thermal water. For centuries, people have gone there to bathe, to heal, to reset. From Roman times to Ottoman rule, Budapest's identity has always been tied to its spas. From the Grand Széchenyi baths, Europe's largest thermal complex, to the domed, almost mystical Turkish baths that are still scattered across the city. But now, in the middle of this deeply historic and very walkable city, something entirely new has arrived: the Kimpton BEM Budapest Hotel. This hotel really surprised me and really blew me away in a lot of ways. It's a hotel that doesn't just sit within Budapest, it interprets it. I stayed here during winter, and what I found was not just a luxury hotel, but something far more interesting. The design and the way everything has been thought through, it's a place where myth, design, history, and modern luxury come together in a way that's unexpected. And I think that is the word. If there was one word I had to use to describe Kimpton BEM Budapest, it would be unexpected. The moment you step inside Kimpton BEM Budapest, you realize this is not going to be a typical or traditional European hotel experience. This is theatre. The building itself is a 19th century mansion, completely reimagined by Dutch design icon Marcel Wanders, known for creating spaces that feel almost dreamlike and theatrical. And that's exactly what he's created here. The design is inspired by Hungarian folklore, which is kind of very sweet, particularly the legend of the miraculous stag, who appears in the hotel in various guises in artwork all over the place, in subtle and not so subtle ways. But what makes it so compelling, I think, is how he has executed this. There are curves instead of straight lines, golds, deep blues, and forest greens, which is just refreshing and not something you really commonly see in luxury hotels. Surfaces that shimmer slightly under the light with the wood and the paint. Even the reception desk feels sculptural, almost like it belongs in a gallery rather than a hotel. So it does feel very artistic. And yet it never feels intimidating. That's the genius of this place. It's bold and it's warm. It's artistic, but it's inviting. There's also a very deliberate sense of playfulness. This is not a hotel that takes itself too seriously. There's a nightly social hour where guests and staff mingle over drinks, and I really enjoyed some local Budapest wines. This is another really surprising aspect of Hungary, of the quality of the wine. They are unique, they are high quality, they are absolutely beautiful, and you get them complimentary at the drinks hour at Kimpton BEM. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it just changes the energy of the hotel when guests are invited to meet together, to connect, and to have conversations. And it's a very international location. So I met people from America, from different parts of Europe. I was the only Australian. It was just fabulous. And this drinks that they have really breaks down the barrier between the hotel and the guest. And suddenly you're not just staying somewhere, you're a part of something, you're a part of a mini community. And you don't have to go if you don't want to. This is just an invitation that all residents staying at Kimpton BEM receive. Now, let's talk about the rooms, because this for me is where the storytelling really continues. There's 127 rooms and suites, and each one feels like a continuation of this kind of fantasy folklore narrative that starts downstairs. You just don't walk into a neutral beige hotel room. You walk into a space that feels thought through and maybe even curated. It's intentional, it's alive. This hotel really is alive. The color palettes are divided between water and forest themes, deep blues for river-facing rooms. I was in a soft green one for courtyard views. These courtyard, oh my gosh. But their headboards are illustrated, almost like modern murals, featuring mythical creatures and organic shapes. And for me, again, that was in that green instead of white. The furniture curves softly, it avoids harsh lines, and the bathrooms often flow into the room itself with freestanding bathtubs positioned almost as sculptural pieces in some rooms. And everything feels very tactile, even the tiles in the bathroom, which I believe are locally sourced, a reference to Hungary's long history of ceramics and craftsmanship. Even the small details are considered. There was a yoga mat in the wardrobe, which, oh my gosh, I flew from Australia. So I flew Sydney, Singapore, Singapore, London, London, Budapest. That was a heck of a flight. So having a yoga mat is always a great thing on arrival, even if it's just to stretch, which is what I did. It was great. They have a steamer there. I mean, steamers have changed everyone's lives of those who have them, including my own. And beautiful lighting that's very flattering. So it was easy to take lovely photos in the room and just easy to chill out with good lighting. So it's luxury, but it's also very practical and I guess livable, you might say. And that's one of the big differences of Kimpton, but of Kimpton BEM. Breakfast is quietly exceptional as well. It's served in Argos, the hotel's main restaurant. And like everything else in the hotel, this isn't just about eating, it's about the experience. High walls, big spaces, lots of air. You can go buffet or a la carte, or ideally a mix of both. The quality is very, very consistent and very high. Perfectly poached scrambled eggs, beautiful fresh pastries, seasonal fruit that tastes like it's just been chosen. There's a Mediterranean influence, which I always like, running through the menu alongside, local Hungarian touches, which makes it feel a little more interesting than your standard luxury hotel breakfast. Coffee is excellent, juices are fresh. It's just a really great way to start the day, and nothing is rushed. You can really sit there and enjoy it, which is what I certainly did. But yeah, lovely breakfast. Now, the food at Kimpton BEM in Argos restaurant really is the centerpiece. Now, being from Australia, being a restaurant reviewer for many, many years, this is Michelin standard. It's incredible. There's lots of deconstructed dishes, which are just incredible, beautiful, fresh flavors. There's attention to detail. I really loved it. The space itself is striking with the sculptural pillars, the open kitchen, which is always a joy to watch. And that recurring stag motif is woven into the design. There's one wall where it just sits there, which is very strong. The food, the actual menu is a blend of Hungarian inspiration and Mediterranean lightness. So think beautifully cooked lamb, octopus that's perfectly balanced, venison Wellington that feels both classic and modern. And there's an amazing wine list to choose from. And I just would always recommend anyone going to Hungary drinks Hungarian wine the whole time. Some of the whites were just absolutely delightful. I want to say they were like a Suave or Vermentino, but they're not. They're Hungarian. They're different. And they're just absolutely exquisite, especially when paired with that local food, which in so many restaurants, not just Argos around Budapest, is such a high standard, such high quality. And the prices that you pay in Budapest restaurants compared to everywhere else in Europe are very surprising. It's so much more affordable. So this is really a place to go and indulge. And, Kimpton BEM Budapest, it would be a crime not to eat dinner or lunch in Argos restaurant, honestly, because it is so fantastic. And as I always say, if you're not staying in that hotel, please go and eat there. You won't regret it. Like it's beautiful. And there's Paso Bar. Like, that is a whole different theme in terms of the interiors. It's like a dark blue, like it's under the sea. I think Huso or Hasso is the name of a fish. And the interior, I believe, is inspired by the Danube and underwater life. So reflective surfaces, textures that almost feel aquatic, but just absolutely beautiful. And again, they have great coffee there and excellent wines by the glass, some great, basic cocktails. But just sitting there is a really nice thing to do in the afternoon if you come in and you just sort of want to chill out, particularly when I was there in winter. There is a rooftop that unfortunately I didn't enjoy because it was too cold. It's called Fennon, and this looks amazing for summer. It's a greenhouse like space. I had a look, filled with plants and warm lighting. And you look out to the Danube, to the bridges, the Parliament building glowing in the distance. It's one of those moments when you realize just how beautiful this city actually is just to look at. We're talking like a postcard. I've saved the best till last, the spa and wellness. This blew my mind when I discovered this on the very first morning because I wake up most days at 5:30 and I go down to the spa or fitness center. The only thing is the fitness center is a little bit small. And the night that I arrived, it was just packed with people, so I didn't actually have a workout, but the fitness facility and wellness facility itself is gorgeous. It's done out like in a cement kind of finish, which is just beautiful. There's a sauna, there's spas. It's just, yeah, spa culture is something that people talk about in Budapest, and you can have it right in your hotel. You don't have to leave. You don't pay any more for it. A lot of people even call Budapest the city of spas. So it's wonderful that the hotel actually has its own facility. Thermal bathing here, as I've mentioned, dates back to Roman times and was expanded under the Ottomans in the 16th century. It continues today to be a part of everyday life, and many tourists go just to Budapest for the spas and for the wellness. And the locals, they live in them too. They use them once, twice, three times a week. And Kimpton BEM understands that. They understand they couldn't have launched their hotel without having this facility on board. So the spa and wellness and fitness is in the basement. And as you descend, there's a noticeable shift in energy, in vibe. The energy slows, the lighting softens, and sound becomes quieter. It's not a vast, sprawling, glitzy spa, but it's beautifully designed. And the large whirlpool is really quite large, which is a big trend in luxury hotels generally. You could probably fit 20 people in there comfortably. 20, amazing. There's a steam room and a sauna, which, I don't need to lecture you in the studies that show that we should be doing this 2 to 3 times a week in terms of saunas or steam rooms. There's a compact gym, as I said, but it's there, and a calm, almost cocoon-like atmosphere. They have beautiful seats. They're curved where you can just sit and relax. It's the kind of place you want to chill out. There's a little ice mound there which is great for your face or even your chest to just tighten your skin, and also beautiful showers. And it's just a place to indulge and go back into yourself and really kind of chill out. Great for jet lag. And I like the fact that this is not trying to replicate the grand historic baths that do exist in Budapest. Instead, it gives you a more private, more intimate version of that experience. And if you want the full dramatic experience, you simply step outside and go to the city's legendary bathhouses. But I liked, the fact that I was there in winter, I liked that I did not have to leave the hotel. It was all there. The service is excellent. It's not formal, it's not stiff, it's warm, relaxed, and genuinely engaging. You're greeted with a drink on arrival, sometimes sparkling wine, something local. And from that moment on, everything feels easy. I really think it's important for luxury hotels to greet their guests with a drink that is quality, and that's certainly what happens here. The staff move across their various roles seamlessly. They help with check-in, recommendations. They were really good with directions. There's a concierge there who just got out the map. He told me where to go. He said, "How many days are you here for?" I was there for 4 days, and he mapped the entire thing out. Gave me a list of coffee shops I shouldn't miss, restaurants I shouldn't miss, too many. Even he said, just walk in and have a look so you know what they are and what they're offering, which was such great advice. But I was really happy because I was actually traveling solo. To have that beautiful connection with staff is really important for a female solo traveler, and there's plenty of it at Kimpton BEM. So Kimpton BEM Budapest, it's not trying to compete with the grand palaces of Europe. It's doing something far more interesting. It's telling a story. For me, that story was about Hungary. It was about mythology. It was about design. It was about the local produce. It was about the creativity of the chefs. It was about a city built on water and wellness. And it does it with confidence, creativity, and just the right amount of playfulness. For me, this is one of the most exciting luxury hotels in Europe right now. Seriously, it's absolutely amazing because it proves something important. Luxury doesn't have to be predictable. In fact, it's far more interesting when it isn't. And I can't wait to return to this hotel in summer, hopefully this summer. Don't forget to subscribe here and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for regular travel updates. You can also hear our episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.